Here are 3 key things I did to quit my 9 to 5 through real estate investing. Hey Daniel, cue in the intro please. Hey, Juan Pablo here. Now on this YouTube channel, we like to emphasize and touch on 3 key things: personal finance, creative financing, and multi-unit investing. So in order for us to continue to provide you with the content you need to succeed in your journey towards becoming financially free, it's important for you to like and subscribe so that way the algorithm can do its thing to give you the content that you need. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the topic. Now I'm going to discuss 3 things that I've done that helped me become financially free and quit my day job through real estate investing. Okay. Now one of the first things I did was this. I actually typed up my resignation letter and my creed and posted on my wall. So you said your resignation letter, how's that significant and what's a creed? Well, this is what I did. I had a situation at my job in which I was creatively thinking outside the box. We got results, great results as a result of the out of the box thinking. However, the downside was it went against company's protocol. Okay, so as a result, I wasn't necessarily congratulated, which that's what I was looking for. However, I was reprimanded. Okay, now that situation was the straw that broke the camel's back. So after I left my coordinator's office after being reprimanded and written up as well, I immediately went to my cubicle and I typed up my resignation letter. Now I didn't submit it right away. What I did, I just typed it up, printed it out, and posted on my cubicle. So every day I would look at the resignation letter coming into the office and when I exit out the office. Okay, but I posted it for a date 4 years from today. Okay, so it was a constant reminder for the next 4 years that I was going to say goodbye to the 9 to 5. Now, right next to the resignation letter, I also had the creed. The creed is as follows: if I don't buy my first investment property by December 31st, insert the year, I ought to be ashamed of myself. But I won't be ashamed of myself because I have every tool, every resource at my disposal to make this goal a reality. Okay, and so I had both of these things posted up. They were somewhat, I like to call them my personal billboards for success. That were a constant reminder, reminding me this is where I'm going. Okay, and I actually have another video on this I want you to check out. Just check the link in the description below to learn more. Now the second thing I did outside the creed and the resignation letter is this. I used my spare time wisely to make myself wealthy. So what do you mean? Well, I had a final destination in mind, right? I wanted to obtain financial freedom. So I realized, well, I still got to keep my 9 to 5, even though my coordinator rubbed me the wrong way or what have you. But I'm thankful and grateful for the job, and I do need this job to pay my bills. So I'm still going to show up day in and day out and put my best foot forward. So I still climbed the ranks in my job. I went from making my first year, I was making $39,000 to when I retired 4 years later, or 6 years later, I would say in total, I was making $83,000 or $86,000. Okay, so I definitely climbed the ranks. I definitely worked hard at my day job, even though I was somewhat disgruntled. But I realized, okay, I still gotta perform because my name is on the line. And as part of workmanship, you take pride in your work. So at my day job, I'm still gonna put my best foot forward. However, my spare time is the key. That's where things separate the two. Because I remember a business friend of mine, I saw he was working on a Saturday one day. And I happened to see him working live, and so I reached out to him. I said, "Hey man, what you doing working on a Saturday?" And he said, "Hey man, let me share this with you, Juan." He said, "Monday through Friday is to keep up with the competition. But Saturday and Sunday, that's to beat the competition." So I realized, well, that's a good point. My spare time, in other words, is how I would pretty much beat the competition. Who's the competitor? My day job. Because I wanted to make sure that my passive income rivaled my paycheck. And so once I got to the part where my passive income rivaled my paycheck, then I can say goodbye to the 9 to 5. So I committed myself. I dedicated myself to make sure I spent anywhere from 12 to 20 hours a week towards real estate investing activities. I kid you not, for the next 4 years. It was challenging at first because, just trying to see what market to invest in, how to finance deals, how my personal finance took into account in regard to qualifying for mortgages, building my team up, what property management company should I use, or should I even hire a property management company? So I had a lot of stuff going on for like the first 3 years of investing. But then once I got it, by year 3, that's when things scaled up exponentially. And I have to attribute it to that second situation that is really using my spare time wisely to make myself wealthy. All right. Now, this is the third thing. The third thing I would say is having a relentless mindset. Relentless. I can't think of a better word. I was thinking about, before I recorded this video, I was thinking maybe perseverance or persistence, maybe doggedness, or being tenacious, but it's really just relentless. Because as you're still maintaining your 9 to 5, and let's say you have those motivational factors, you're creating your resignation letter taped up somewhere on your wall, you're seeing it every day. And let's say you are using your spare time wisely to make yourself wealthy through real estate. You're calling leads, you're also driving for dollars, you're also applying for mortgages, you're networking with different partners. Let's say you're doing all those things as well. But then it's going to come to a point where you're doing all these things and you start receiving, let's say, negative feedback, such as you're applying for a mortgage and you get denied, or you're about to close on a deal and the partner backs out, right? Or you're about to close on a deal and the seller backs out. What do you do? And these situations happened to me. I remember I was going to my 4th year of investing, and I remember I had one property under contract, and I was so ready to close, and I wanted to close on this property so bad because it was the last property I needed to become financially free. And we couldn't move forward with the deal because the appraisal came back lower. Now, based upon my calculations, especially with the cash flow concerned, the property cash flowed. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, that's great, actually, because if the appraised value is lower, then that means, because I have a contingency in my contracts, it's called an appraisal contingency, that if the appraisal comes back lower than the purchase price, then the seller has to reduce the purchase price to meet the appraised value, or I can back out. So the seller was willing to do that. It's just that I was really, even thinking about it now, it just brings my memories. I just really wanted to close, period. I'm like, well, my mortgage will be less, because if he lowers the purchase price down to the appraised value, then the mortgage payment that I factor into the cash flow will be less, so my cash flow will be greater. But then I reached out to one of my mentors of mine, and he mentioned, is this an emotional decision or a logical decision? And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? It's emotional. He said, why is it emotional? I said, because this is the last deal I need to become financially free. And I had set in my mind to quit my day job 4 years from today, and that day is around the corner. So I'm almost there. I'm just like a month or 2 there. And once I close on this property, I'll be there. So it was very big, because again, I've been thinking about this moment for 4 year. I've been working in my spare time towards this moment for 4 years. And he says, okay, so it's emotional. How do investors make the decision? Do they make decisions based upon their emotion or based upon logic? Logic, right. You don't fall in love with the deal, do you? What do you fall in love with? The numbers. So do the numbers work? Sorta, yeah, because the cash flows, well, no, all the numbers, like the appraised value. No, it doesn't. So what do you think will happen, Juan, if you bought this property and let's say for some odd reason you need to offload it off your inventory quickly? What will happen? So here's the next question that my mentor asked me. He said, now, Juan, what is the consequence of buying a property at its appraised value? And so I thought about it for a moment. I said, well, the consequence is that if I was in a jam and I had to sell it quickly, I might have to sell it at a discount, because most people know when you're listing a property or what have you, that you list it higher than what it's worth. So long story short, I might get paid less. I might be able to sell it less than what I purchased it at. And he said, correct. And as an investor, do you buy properties at face value or at a discount? as an investor, you always buy properties at a discount and not face value. So another question, my last question for you on. So let's say these other two metrics are A-okay in regard to seeing if it's a good deal or not. But let's say one of the metrics is not okay. Do you still proceed with the deal? No, you don't. So I had to back out that deal. However, I had to make sure that I maintain my enthusiasm and relentlessness to be able to pursue the next deal. So then I pursued another deal, and for some odd reason, for this particular deal, the numbers worked well, but upon doing due diligence, the leases were fictitious. The seller made them up. And how I knew that? Doing due diligence, I called some of the tenants. I've seen there was a little bit of copy pasting between 2 or 3 different leases, and when I questioned the seller about it, and not an accusatory tone, but hey, can you just provide a letter of explanation? I saw these discrepancies. You mind breaking it down as to why these leases are off or the numbers are off, and this tenant said they don't live there and this and this, and she didn't have an adequate explanation. So that was another deal that fell through. It's pretty much like being in the fourth quarter and you miss 2 key shots, right? There's maybe a second left on the game clock. However, the good thing is, even though I had a 4-unit fall through, then a 7-unit fall through, I then ended up acquiring a 9-unit and was able to close on that 9-unit. And with that purchase of the 9-unit, all units in one building, then I was able to have enough cash flow to say goodbye to the 9-to-5. All right, if you want to see another video I recommend for you is about cash flow, just check the link in the description to learn more. As always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. We have a free training for you, so make sure you check the link below to learn more. Thanks. Peace.